Earlier last year, we had a chance to test drive the all-new Nissan Pathfinder, and what a huge departure and improvement that vehicle was over the previous generation. Well, we've also been patiently waiting for its luxurious cousin, the best-selling Infiniti QX60, and here it is, and it's no surprise that this new QX60 is nothing like the previous version. There are 4 trim levels of the QX60. It starts with the Pure, then it goes up to the Lux, the Century, which we have here, and the top of the line Autograph. The Century really is the top of the line in terms of features. The Autograph adds a few other things like the first 2-tone roof, and then you also get quilted semi-aniline leather seats, and it also comes as a 6-passenger vehicle. We'll talk a little bit more of that when we get inside. Make sure to check with your local Infiniti site, because some of these features that we're talking about on this trim might differ a little bit to your trim where you are. This color, by the way, is called Majestic White. Looks really good when the weather's a little bit brighter. It's really foggy today, but it has a pearl to it, and that is a $750 option. So let's start at the front. You can see a very, very unique light signature. You have these piano key LEDs for your daytime running lights. Standard LED headlamps and tail lamps in the reflector, lots of detail here. And then you get the double arched Infiniti grille, and it has this, they call it, it mimics origami, like the folding of paper, but to me it looks like molten liquid, just kind of like melting through. It's got a very deep look, especially with this gloss black finish. I like the use of chrome they've used on this QX60. It doesn't look too much, it really fits the vehicle. You got the Infiniti that's embossed right into the chrome right here. You got some chrome accents down there. These inlets here are not functional, by the way, but they do mimic the grille itself. For years, I've been a fan of Infiniti styling. I really like what they've done with this QX60. The previous version, believe it or not, is about the same size as this. However, this just looks so much more bold and substantial and planted compared to the old one. Like really, it's night and day. So standard, you get 18-inch wheels, but if you go up to the Lux, you get 20-inch, and on the Sensory and Autograph, you also get 20-inch, but they are a different 20-inch wheel. I like the contrast in colors. You have the black around the wheel well, you have a split 2-tone black, and the body color on the mirror. Once again, more chrome, but I honestly think it's tasteful. It's got this Infiniti down here. Now, both the front and rear doors have the capacitive touch. Look at that. Lock and unlock from the rear doors. Thank you, Infiniti. And the front as well. And they have this chrome finish on the outside as well. Now, one thing that they've done here, if you look at the lines here, it looks like one big piece of glass. So the black blends in nicely with the tinted windows, comes all the way here, and it blends right into the rear glass, even though there's a piece of plastic here, but it's black plastic. So it really has a very, very seamless look. Styling the rear of a vehicle is always more challenging than styling the front. The front's always like the face of the vehicle, but Infiniti has always done a very good job of the rear styling. This is no different. And I'm gonna say this again, quite a bit of chrome, but they've used it really, really well. This could be probably the best use of chrome that I've seen it on a vehicle for a long time, and maybe it's because of the color, but there's great contrast with the black and this white here. You have the chrome Infiniti letters going straight across the emblem, and of course the QX60 there. Below, you have these chrome pieces. I'm not gonna call them exhaust finishers, because they're not. There's no holes in them, and they're not trying to make them look like exhaust finishers either. They just kind of mimic those front skid plate trims that you have. The exhaust is actually underneath here. Now, if you go to the Sensory version, it comes standard with the trailer hitch as well as a 7-pin trailer connector, and you also get the transmission cooler as well. Towing capacity on the Sensory and the Autograph trim is rated at 6,000 pounds, by the way. Here are those LED lights that we were talking about, and they're segmented, kind of like that piano key finish on the front. To open up, we have a button right underneath here in the black trim. There are 2 cameras. There's one camera up here for your rear view mirror, which this has, and then there's a backup camera. This also has the hands-free option for the power tailgate. Little kick there, up it comes. Now, once it's open, you'll see that we have all 3 rows up right now. Underneath the floor, there is a large compartment here. It is plastic, and there also is a drain plug here. So if you put some muddy things here, or dirty things, or it gets dirty, you need to rinse it out, wash it out, you can drain that out there. And what's nice is this lid has a friction hinge to it. So we can lift it up and just leave it there. Look at that. No straps or anything necessary to hold that up. So there we go for behind the 3rd row. The nice thing about a 3-row SUV is a lot of times you don't need that 3rd row and you want extra room. So to fold it, you pull the headrest straps, just like so. Down she comes. Now, cargo behind the 2nd row here is rated at 1,178 liters or 41.6 cubic feet. That's a decent amount of room. We can fit a lot of stuff in there. That's normally how we would have it as our family, because we're a family of 4. Now, if you want maximum storage, we can fold that 2nd row completely down as well, and it's a nice flat storage area now. So that increases our cargo area to 2,135 liters or 75.4 cubic feet. If you need to put that 3rd row up, there are 2 buttons on the side here on the Sensory. Push those, up it comes by power. You can also do it manually, but these buttons only actually pull them up. To put them down, you still have to manually push it down. And you know what? It's pretty easy to use the strap to pull it up too. So you have options. And of course, it passes the obligatory Costco test. Once you're finished in the back, you do have a close and a lock button. Locker, walk away. Well, let's start it up because it's kind of cold. There we go. That's what it sounds like. You get some nice animation happening on the 12.3-inch digital display. Now, this doesn't come on the base trim, but everything above the base gets that 12.3-inch display. Now, speaking of standard equipment on the base, you get a lot for your money on this QX60. So all models come standard with leather interior. They all come with a large panel roof. You get the 12.3-inch infotainment display with wireless Apple CarPlay, and you get Android Auto. Big improvement for the graphics on these new Infinitis now, and the backup camera on this big bonus, much more clear than the previous camera. It is a little bit distorted though. It's a little bit too wide that I find, so it's not as accurate if you're really trying to park somewhere very precise, like a real tight garage or something, but you'll get used to it once you own the vehicle. You also get standard heated seats and leather wrapped steering wheel on the base trim as well. The Lux Trim, which is one above the base Pure trim, in Canada, it's about $4,500 more. I think it's quite worth it because you get a lot more content with that. First of all, you get navigation, you get satellite radio, you get the 12.3-inch driver display. You also get 20-inch wheels, power tilt and telescoping steering wheel, remote start, plus you get what I think is a very important feature, and that is the around view monitor. So you get your regular backup camera plus that overhead view, that 360 type of view. You get that with this, plus rear and front parking sensors. On the base Pure, you only get rear parking sensors. So I think the Lux Trim is actually going to be a very popular trim for a lot of people. Checking out the rest of the interior design, lots of style here, nice materials. Lots of good touch points. Even the door pulls, they're sculpted really nice. I like, this is equipped with the Bose Performance Series audio system, 17 speakers on this Sensory Edition. You have open pore wood trim on this. You also get memory settings for your seat and your steering wheel and your mirrors, and that the memory settings are also for the passenger as well. That's a big bonus. Now down below here, this is where I get a little bit tossed. You have capacitive touch controls for your heating and climate control, as well as some of your media selections right there. I like that they're not integrated into the main system, they're separate, and you do have a volume knob, you do have temperature controls, and even on the fan, there is a ridge there. So if you're driving, if I want to turn the fan down, I can reach down, I can feel that ridge, and I can do it without actually taking my eyes off the road. That's a nice thing. However, it's still touch. It does have haptic feedback. And you know, I was playing around yesterday, and I pulled into the garage, and it automatically dimmed all the lights because it thought it was nighttime, or you know, it was on auto. And then I couldn't get it off of that. I pulled back out, and it was really, really dim. And that's the disadvantage of not having physical buttons. You know, when it's really dim, it's like, it was really hard to see what you're doing. Turn it off, and I guess it just had to sense that it was outside again, and it came back. Below that, this is equipped with wireless charging. You have Type A and Type USB plugs in this vehicle. We have 2 in the front, 1 in the glove compartment. We've got a couple in the back, and we even have some for the third row there. So lots of connectivity for this vehicle if you want to charge up your devices. I really like how sleek they made the shifter here. So you got your park, and then you want to pull it in, you just pull in gear and park. You have your drive mode beside that. And the infotainment can be controlled either by the touch screen, or you can use the actual wheel controller right here. And what I like is you do have a dedicated camera button. So if you're getting close to something, or you want to see your wheels, just hit that camera button. A few other things you get with the Sensory trim: you get a 10.8-inch full color head-up display, also ventilated and massaging front seats. Let's check out the back. In the back of the QX60, I like the panel roof, lets a lot of light in. If you don't want that much light, you do have manual sunshades in this trim here. Knee room, lots of leg room here. There is enough room for my feet to actually fit under the seat, but a lot of leg room here. We actually sit quite high. Now these seats can actually recline though, if you need more headroom. And they can actually recline a lot. That's actually way too much. And if you want to give those third row passengers more room, you can actually slide this up. Even there, my knees are still not touching the front seat. This is set to where I would be driving. I'm about 5'11", just a little bit short of that. So yeah, we'll check out that rear in a second here, but let's put this back for a second. So, completely flat floor here, perfect for carrying 3 other passengers in here. Now remember, if you go to the Autograph, which is the one model above this Sensory trim, it only comes as a 6-passenger vehicle, so only 2 captain's chairs with that. But with that, you also get a removable center console, and that's actually quite nice because you can take it out and people can slide in and out quite easy there. We have tri-zone climate control, standard on all QX60s. However, on the Sensory and the Autograph trim, you also get an advanced climate control with a plasma cluster purifier. I have no idea what that means, but obviously it cleans the air even better. Below the climate control, you have 2 more USBs, a Type A and a Type C. I like how they've included both because not everyone has one or the others. Getting into the third row is as easy as pushing one button. There you go. It tilts, it pushes forward, and it's really easy. This has got to be one of the easier vehicles to get into the third row for sure. So there we go. We've closed the door ourselves even. Now when I pull back here, I'm just going to just hold it back a little bit. As I pull back, it's not going to crush my feet. If I don't put my foot there and just pull all the way back, it's going to come all the way back because these are sliding second row seats. But check it out. There's actually adequate room back here Headroom wise, I'm close to the top. My knees are not hitting at all. This is for 2 passengers back here. We have both USB outlets, one on each side. And what I like, you have an air vent right by your head up top. Plus, there is another air vent right on the passenger side below there. And of course, 2 more cup holders on each side. Yeah, you do ride a little upright. However, I think I can recline these. Yes, they can. I can recline these seats even further back. I'd have no issue riding back here, not for like a whole day trip or something like that, but yeah, but an hour or 2, no problem. Now to get out, there's a button on the back of the seat. Hit that. There it goes. And you're out. Push it back. Done. Bye. Under the hood of the QX60, a 3.5 liter V6 engine. It puts out 295 horsepower and 270 pound-feet of torque. If you're wondering what type of fuel you need, well, they recommend for best performance to use premium, but it is not required, but it's recommended. So it's up to you. I would probably just try going maybe mid-grade. How about that? Probably one of the biggest changes in the QX60 over the previous model is the transmission. No more CVT, you have a 9-speed automatic transmission, and even though a CVT is smooth, I don't know, it just feels smoother, or it's just definitely more engaging and more satisfying to drive a conventional automatic transmission in this style of vehicle. So the transmission is fairly responsive. We have different drive modes. We can switch it over to sport. We have a personal, which is kind of like an individual setting, so you can change what you want. So in sport mode, let's kick it down. There is a nice pull. This almost 300 horsepower gets this thing moving fairly quick, especially for the size of it. No effort whatsoever. We mentioned you have 6,000 pounds of towing capacity on here. Now in Canada, all QX60s come with all-wheel drive. We do not have a front-wheel drive option like you get in the US. So there, yeah, if you don't need the all-wheel drive, you can opt for the 2-wheel drive or the front-wheel drive. You're going to save a few dollars, and that option is available on all trim levels in the US. The interior is very quiet, and I do find that this is for sure a more refined product than the Nissan Pathfinder. Nothing wrong with that at all. However, we noticed on the Pathfinder, the suspension was a little bit stiff, at times, especially on some bigger hits and some bigger bumps. This one they've really refined it and smoothed it out a lot more. Transmission's very, very responsive. It's just, it goes with it. They've tuned everything right on this vehicle. Not to say that the Pathfinder wasn't tuned, but for this type of premium experience, this is what you would expect. The QX60 also has a host of safety features. You have lane keeping assist, blind spot warning, adaptive cruise control. You get all that. Plus, we mentioned you do get that digital rear view mirror, really handy when things are blocking your vision, so you can put that on there. And I really like, with the around view monitor and the front parking sensors, when you do approach something at a slow speed, it will turn on that front camera for you. Really handy for parking situations. So what's it going to cost to get you into a QX60? Well, the base pure starts at just under 55,000 Canadian dollars. Remember, we only get all-wheel drive here. In the US, you can get the pure starting at $47,000, and that's front-wheel drive, because you can option front or all-wheel drive in the US. Next one, which I think is going to be popular, is that Lux Trim for $4,500 more, so it's still under 60 grand in Canada, and that gets you things like the larger 12.3 inch driver's display. You get the 20-inch wheels, you get the power tilt and telescoping steering wheel as well, and of course the important around view monitor and the front parking sensors. Those are just a few things to name that you get with that Lux Trim. And then you get the sensory that you have here, and that's $65,000. You get things like the head-up display, and you get the ventilated seats and the Bose 17 speaker audio system and a whole bunch of other goodies for sure. And the top of the line is that autograph trim, and that's a couple $1,000s more than the sensory, and that gets you the quilted semi-aniline leather seats. You also get the two-tone roof, and remember that gets the captain's seats in the back. So what's the final verdict on the QX60? Well, I was really looking forward to experiencing this vehicle as soon as they even launched the concept, and you know what, the wait was actually worth it. They did a great job. It's a nice, refined, premium vehicle, and the best thing about it, I think they priced it extremely aggressively against the competition. You know, you could say, like, you know, you have the Lincoln Aviator, for instance, or the Acura MDX would probably be one of the closest competitors, and this is priced below that. Like an MDX Platinum Elite in Canada starts at $67,000, and essentially you get this almost the same amount of features on the Lux Trim of this one, and that's under 60,000 bucks. So there is a lot of value with this vehicle. The only thing that this vehicle doesn't offer that some of the competitors offer, well, first of all, the MDX offers some sportier or more performance-oriented trims like the Type S. So you have more power, you have a sportier suspension, and even adaptive suspension. And a vehicle like the 3-row Lincoln Aviator, beautiful vehicle, but that starts at $70,000. But that also is available in a different powertrain, which is the PHEV, and that's becoming more and more popular. I'm hoping that, you know, with the connection and the partnership that Nissan has with Mitsubishi, that we may be seeing a PHEV EV version of this QX60 sometime down the road, hopefully in the future. Anyways, I hope you liked the video, hope you liked the vehicle. Leave a comment below. Let me know, what do you think? Would you buy this QX60? Do you own a QX60? I know a lot of people that own the current or the previous generation QX60, and I think if they drove this, they're definitely going to want to get into this one and trade that other one in. Anyways, see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.